Hey guys, what is up? Faz here. In this video, I will be teaching you what is a valid auto block and what is an invalid auto block. So I would say most of the SMC traders don't know how to identify a valid auto block. And in this video, I will be showing you exactly how you can identify a valid auto block that is actually going to work, okay? So what most of the people would do is they would see this break of structure, right? So you have a lower low, lower high, lower low, and they would mark out the last bullish candle right here, okay? And they would call it an auto block. And when they have their short position set here, what happens then is they get stopped out. The auto block doesn't work, okay? So this happens with a lot, I would say most of the SMC traders, and I'm going to show you why it doesn't work. Okay, now how do you identify a valid auto block in this scenario? Okay, so let me remove this, and let me remove this as well. Let me remove actually this and this. So a valid auto block would be something like this. Kaboom. Now why, and then you have your auto block here, right? Let me mark this out and I'll explain in a bit why this. So this right here is a valid auto block and price is going to react off this level. So why did this auto block worked out? And let me show you why. So for an auto block to be valid, it must sweep some sort of a liquidity before break of structure. Okay, so in this example, you can see we have a lower low, lower high, and then we have a push down, creating this liquidity level. Price takes out this liquidity level, and then we have distribution, or you could say a break of structure. So this is classic ICT AMD model, which is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Okay, so what is an auto block? Consecutive bullish candles that took out this liquidity is your auto block. It is not a single candle. It is a group of bullish candles that took out liquidity. It is not a one candle. So you're going to have, let's say you have a bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, then you have bullish, bullish, bearish, and then you have bullish, 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 and then you have a push down that breaks the structure. So the last consecutive bullish candles is your auto block. Okay, very simple. And when you're going to take the entry from this level, it's going to play out perfectly. Not all the time, but by using confirmation entries, it's going to work out perfectly. So remember what I said. For an auto block to be valid, it has to sweep, price has to sweep some sort of liquidity like this, and then you get a break of structure. And when you wait for price to come back into this level, and boom. Okay, so here I have a weird example, but it's gonna be clear to you guys. So you have a push up, right? So let's assume that we have push down like this, right? So you have a push up, we have a let's remove this just for an example. So you have push up, push down, and then you have liquidity sweep. So you see these three candles, right? They are bullish. 1, 2, 3. Now this right here is your auto block. These three candles is your auto block, okay? And we have a market structure shift right here. So this right here would be your auto block. Now there are ways to refine this auto block, and let me show you how. So the first thing is that you can, instead of taking your entry from the very first candle of the auto block, what you can do is you can take your entry from the second candle. Or if you want to refine it more, you can take your entry from the last auto block. Okay? And to refine it even further, what you can do is you can drop down to a lower time frame, and then when you see a fair value gap on a lower time frame, you use the first candle of the fair value gap. Okay, when you drop down to the lower time frame, you look at the very first or extreme fair value gap, and then you mark out the very first candle of the fair value gap, right? And that could be your auto block. But remember this rule, it has to sweep out some sort of liquidity and then you get a market structure shift. Now, we do not consider the low and the high of the auto block. We only consider the open and the close, okay? So we only consider open and close. So you are not going to take your entry from the wick. You will not put your short position on the wick right here. You would put it at the body of the candle. Now I am teaching you what ICT teaches, guys. I'm not teaching you these things by myself, okay? This is what ICT calls an auto block. And you must understand that this is a must, okay? It has to sweep out some sort of liquidity and then you get the market structure shift and then it plays out, okay? Very, very simple. So there are few key things that you should note, that your entry must be during kill zone hours, okay? So it could either be during London session or New York session, okay? And yeah, you can, and also a plus point is that you know the high time frame auto flow, okay? And the liquidity sweep happens in a, let's say that you have a push down like this, right? I would say something like this. You draw out your fib, right? And the liquidity sweep happens above the 0.5 level, right? And then you take your entry. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys some examples and then it's going to be clear to you guys. Okay guys, so here is example number 1. So we have external market structure and then we have internal, right? So over here you see that we have lower low, lower high, lower low. And then we have a market structure shift inside the internal market structure, if that makes sense. Over here, you can see we had equal lows or liquidity level. Price takes out the liquidity level right here. So you see these consecutive bearish candles, 1, 2. This took out liquidity. And after that, we had a bullish candle. And then we had a shift in market structure. So now what a lot of people would do is they would mark out this last bearish candle as their auto block and they would miss the entry. Or sometimes, you know, if this isn't the scenario, they're going to lose. So the real auto block is the body of these candles. You see these consecutive candles, 1, 2. This took out liquidity and right after that, we have a market structure shift. So guys, this is your bullish auto block. Price comes back into your auto block, right? It does go a little bit further, down a little bit further, but then afterwards you have a big push. So this is a must, guys. Now you must know this, all right? And this is the this is the basics of ICT that I'm teaching you guys. So you can see we had these consecutive bearish candles and price always is going to react off this level instead of this level. Yeah, you can get lucky once in a while and it's going to react off this level and you're going to consider this as an auto block. Well, what if this bearish candle took out the low of this bullish candle and then you had a push up like this? Then you would consider that candle as your auto block because it took out some sort of liquidity, right? And then you have a push up, so then you can consider this as your auto block. So let me give you guys another example. All right, guys, so here is example number 2. So you can see we have lower low, lower high. So we have this liquidity level and we create another lower low, but this was actually a liquidity sweep. And right after that, we have a market structure shift right here. And this right here, the body of the candle, this is the last candle, or you could say consecutive candle. There are no consecutive candles that took out the liquidity. So hence, this only one candle is going to be your auto block and the body of the auto block. If you took your entry from the wick, you know what I'm talking about, right? So the real way to identify the auto block is to take your entry from the body of the candle. And you can see price came back here perfectly and it pushed back up. Simple as that, guys. No need to overcomplicate this. You must have some sort of liquidity sweep, right? And then you have a market structure shift. And of course, you cannot trade auto blocks by its own. You need to know the overall market structure, right? So you can see that price also took out this liquidity level around here. So that was a plus point. Okay. So I hope that is clear, guys. I'm going to repeat this once more and then I'm going to end the video. So you must have some sort of liquidity sweep, which happens right here. And you can look back further and you can see if there's another liquidity sweep, that is a plus point. So you have liquidity sweep, and right after that, guys, and I mean right after that, you have a market structure shift. And that becomes your auto block, the candle that swept the liquidity or consecutive bearish candles. Now keep in mind that you should be using, you know, the premium and discount zones, and that is another topic, but my job was to explain what is a valid auto block in this video, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I really hope that this video helped you in some way. Yeah, if you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 30,000 subscribers, guys. I would highly appreciate that. Make sure you like this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.